Hey, John.
Hey, Bob. Good morning.
Morning. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
Very good. What's the latest COVID news? Have you had any more meetings with the health department?
Yeah, we had an update yesterday, and cases have gone up pretty substantially, much more so in the Alleghany district than in the city of Roanoke. But so I think we're kind of seeing the heart of the Thanksgiving sort of surge, and but not unexpected and
right.
Sadly also controllable, but doesn't seem to make much difference. So.
Morning, Chris. Good morning, Virginia. Hey, Dan.
Can you hear me?
Good morning.
Audible?
You're audible, and now you're visual.
Can you hear me?
Multi-dimensional.
Good.
Yeah, Dan, that's not bad for a Friday,
Leaving at noon.
Oh, well, okay, there you go. You're not going to actually take time off next week, are you?
No, just this afternoon.
Okay, you had me worried for a minute there. So
my Monday's pretty much tied up. Bet yours is too.
Yep. like from 9 o'clock till who knows when the council, because I have council that day. So
oh, really? Oh,
yes. I'm going to miss the second group of interviews, the ones that start at 1, I think. Yep. But yeah, it's a busy day.
Hi, Sherry.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey, Sam.
Hey, good morning.
Morning. Morning, Gary.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you, sir?
Been a while since I've seen you.
I know, right?
Morning, Gary.
Morning. Hope everybody's doing well. Bob, are we going to play this thing the way we have been in the past?
Yeah, we'll play the tag team thing again.
Is everyone ready? It looks like it's 10 o'clock.
Yeah, it's 10 o'clock. Virginia, I believe we have a quorum. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. We'll call the Western Virginia Regional Industrial Facilities Authority meeting to order, the December meeting. So Merry Christmas to everyone. Happy holidays and all of those things. So over to you, Bob.
We will also call the Western Virginia Regional Industrial Facility Authority Participation Committee meeting to order as well. And I guess we'll start with our Participation Committee roll call, and then we'll shift over to the board. So Virginia, if you wouldn't mind calling roll for the Participation Committee.
Yes, and if you don't mind, please to state the location that you're participating from. Bob Cow.
I am here, and I'm from 215 Church Avenue at the Municipal Building in Roanoke, Virginia.
James Telefero.
Here, participating from Salem City Hall.
Dan O'Donnell.
Here, 5204 Bernard Drive, Roanoke County.
We have a quorum.
Thank you.
And also, Virginia, if you would end up calling a roll for the full authority.
Yes, Gary LaRue.
Here, and I'm in Fincastle at 5 West Main Street.
Ken McFadden. David Mormon. Luke Campbell. Michael Burnett.
Here, and I'm at 1255 Franklin Street, Rocky Mount, Virginia.
Christopher Whitlow,
Here, and I'm at the same location as Mike Burnett.
Donald Smith, Dan O'Donnell,
I'm here and I haven't moved.
Jill Luke,
I am here from 5204 Bernard Drive, Roanoke County.
Rebecca Owens,
Her birthday, she's not here.
Richard Kaywood, Bob Cow,
I am here and participating at Municipal Building downtown Roanoke.
Granger McFarland, Brent Robertson, Robert Ledger,
Yeah, this is Robert. I'm participating from 1901 Avon Road in Roanoke.
James Telefero,
Here from Salem City Hall.
Ben Tripp, Richard Pete Peters,
Here, 311 South Pollard Street, Benton Municipal Building.
Mayor Brad Gross, Sabrina McCarthy. We have a quorum.
Thank you very much, Virginia. I guess we'll go on to the approval of the consent agenda items. We had the September 18th, 2020 board minutes and also the financial reports as of September 30th are in your packet. Is there any discussion or anything that we need to do with either one of those? If not, the chair would entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda.
Move to approve.
Motion's been made. Is there a second?
This is Bob. I'll second.
Okay, thank you, Bob. So the approval of the consent agenda motion has been properly seconded. Virginia, would you call the roll?
Yes. Gary LaRue,
Yes.
Michael Burnett,
Yes.
Christopher Whitlow,
Yes.
Dan O'Donnell,
Yes.
Jill Luke,
Yes,
Bob Cow,
Yes.
Robert Ledger,
Yes,
James Telefero,
Yes.
Pete Peters.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Back to you, Bob.
All right, thank you. And we will open up for the public comment period for the participation committee. Virginia, is there anyone signed up for public comment?
No, sir.
Thank you. Then we will close that item and return back to you, Gary.
Okay, same thing on the public comment period for the authority. I take it that there's no one signed up? Okay. We'll move on to the election of officers.
Gary, do you want to, or John, I guess, should we do election of officers for the participation committee first and then go to the board?
That would be appropriate, Bob. I'm sorry.
For the participation committee, we need an action on the August 21st minutes.
Oh, okay, thank you. Thank you. So we will entertain a motion or any changes to those minutes as noted from the participation committee members.
Move
Motion
approval.
approved. Second.
Thank you. Virginia, will you call roll, please?
Yes. Bob Cow,
Yes.
James Telefero,
Yes.
Dan O'Donnell,
Yes.
motion passes.
Thank you. We will now move to election of officers, which in this case requires the chair and vice chair. And I will happily make nomination for someone other than me. So I will happily nominate Dan O'Donnell for the chair of the participation committee.
Second.
Thank you. We will go ahead and vote on that, and then we'll come back and address the vice chair. So Virginia, would you call roll, please?
Bob Cow,
Yes.
James Telefero,
Yes.
Dan O'Donnell,
I vote for me.
motion
You notice
passes.
we didn't give any
But
opportunity to have
I
any
demand a recount.
I don't think that a recount is necessary. However, Bob has decided that he will not resign.
questions. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Even though I've made the motion, I refuse. So, With that, actually, Gary, or with that, Dan, I'll send it over to you then so that you can actually do the election for the vice chair.
I hadn't thought it through that far. Okay, I'm not sure who was volunteering to be the vice chair, so I'll have to ask how that's working out. We have a nomination for vice chair?
I move Bob Cow.
Thank
Have
you,
a
Jay.
second? I get a
I
second?
can't really, you're gonna second Dan, because I really can't second myself. It's
I
just-
guess I can second you, sure. Second. I guess we, so now we need a vote, a roll call, right?
Bob Cow,
Yes.
James Delifera,
Yes.
Dan O'Donnell,
Yes.
motion passes.
Thank you.
Okay, back to the election of the officers for the authority. I guess we end up having a chair and vice chair that would be associated with that. So we would open this up for nominations for chair.
You're asking a lot for us, Gary, this early in the morning, so.
You haven't prearranged this, I guess. If so, I'm not in the loop.
And if not, I will happily recommend Gary again for the chair unless there's a reason I can't do that, so.
Second.
That was quick. With a motion and a second, Virginia, would you call the roll?
Gary Little,
Abstain.
Michael Burnett,
Yes.
Christopher Whitlow,
Yes.
Dan O'Donnell,
Yes.
Jill Loop,
Yes.
Bob Cow,
Yes.
Robert Ledger,
Yes.
James Delifera,
Yes.
Pete Peters,
Yes.
motion passes.
Thank you for your confidence. We'll go on to the office of vice chair. We would entertain motion or nominations for the position of vice chair. Bob, you're serving in that role now, is that right?
I believe that is correct. And
You want to do it
Move
again?
Bob Cow.
do it again, or I'll happily turn it over to someone else, however y'all would like.
That was a hint for everyone else to.
He's going to take it and then leave the country.
That's right.
Okay, so Bob was nominated, I take it?
Yes, sir.
Anyone else that's interested in that esteemed position? Okay, is there a second to that nomination?
Second.
Okay, there's a second. So Virginia, would you call the roll?
Gary Little,
Yes.
Ken McFadden,
Yes.
Michael Burnett,
Yes.
Christopher Whitlow,
Yes.
Dan O'Donnell,
Yes.
Jill Loop,
Yes.
Bob Cow,
Yes.
Robert Ledger,
Yes.
James Delifera,
Yes.
Pete Peters,
Yes.
motion passes.
Okay, thank you all very much for that. Looks like we've got one extra item here that the participation committee does not have. That would be the operating funding request, item 6. Sherry, can you help us out with that?
Mr. Chair, do we need to vote on the treasurer secretary as well?
Probably so. Exactly.
The current position is with Christopher Whitlow. Is the current secretary treasurer?
Excuse me there, Chris. Yes, we do need to do that. The chair would entertain nominations for that position.
I'll nominate Chris again if he's willing to do that.
Being that I've done such a great job, Bob, as Secretary Treasurer, I think maybe I've attended a couple of meetings. I think I could pull this off again with Virginia's help.
Second.
Thank you for your confidence, gentlemen.
Chris, you're sounding more and more like Dan O'Donnell.
Remember, folks, these things are recorded.
That's right.
Dan, can you give us an example of?
No, I cannot.
Okay. There is a nomination on the table for Phil Whitlow. Are there any other nominations? I don't hear any nominations. I consider it as a second. Yes. And Virginia, would you end up calling the roll?
Gary Little.
Yes.
Gary Little.
Yes.
Ken McFadden.
Yes.
Michael Burnett.
Yes.
Christopher Whitlow.
Abstain, please.
Dan O'Donnell.
Yes.
Jill Loop.
Yes.
Bob Cow.
Yes.
Robert Ledger.
Yes.
James Delifero.
Yes.
Keith Peters.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, now we have a full slate of officers. Right, Virginia?
Correct.
Okay. So now on to,
Can I just
yes.
can I just mention way back when they made Wayne Assistant Secretary Treasurer, and I think last year you guys reaffirmed that, and I'm not sure if you're required to reaffirm it every year.
I would.
The chair would entertain a motion or a nomination of Wayne as being the Assistant Secretary Treasurer.
This is Chris Gary. I would make that motion.
Okay, sounds like a good.
Wayne Strickland, I believe.
Yes.
I haven't heard a last name in there. So.
Wayne Strickland, yes.
Wayne.
I think that would end up being a prudent move, Chris.
Yes, sir. I make that motion.
And there's a second to that.
Second. Dan.
Motion's been made and properly seconded to appoint Wayne as the Assistant Secretary Treasurer and reaffirm that his past history. So with that being the case, Virginia, would you call the roll?
Gary Little.
Yes.
Ken McFadden.
Yes.
Michael Burnett.
Yes.
Christopher Whitlow.
Yes.
Dan O'Donnell.
Yes.
Jill Loop. Jill Loop.
Yes.
Bob Cow.
Yes.
Robert Ledger.
Yes.
James Delifero.
Yes.
Keith Peters.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you, Virginia. And Harry, thanks for bringing that to our attention. Now to, for the third time, to operating funding request for FY22. I think that's page 17. Sherry, can you help us?
Yeah, we included the budget for the FY22 operating in the agenda packet. It's the same amount that they have asked for. Okay. Are you guys trying to look at that page or?
I put it up, Sherry. I mean, it's right out of the packet. I just popped it up. Are you seeing it?
Okay. Yeah. That's last year's, but it's.
Oh, okay.
It's actually on another page.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Right there.
Right. Okay.
So the FY22 budget is spread by population. Those individual amounts there are total to the same $56,250 that have been asked for since the WVRIFA started. We've included the FY20 and prior money reserve, that $58,500 is estimated that we would carry forward at the end of FY21 into FY22 for total revenues that would be available to use for $114,750. But the budgeted expenses, we've kept the same as what have been since inception, or down below, and total to $61,686, which estimated would leave the $53,000 in reserve.
Okay. Any further discussion or questions that might end up having a Sherry? If not, the chair would entertain a motion to accept this request.
This is Bob. I'll make that motion for approval.
Okay, thank you, Bob. Is there a second?
Second, Dan.
Thank you, Dan. So there's motion's been properly made and seconded. Virginia, could you call the roll?
Gary, excuse me, Gary Lareau,
Yes.
Ken McFadden,
Yes.
Michael Burnett,
Yes.
Christopher Whitlow,
Can I ask a question of John? Are you going to send specific letters or anything, or is this the whole request?
Gary, we send a request, is that correct?
Yes, we send out statements in December, so the localities can prepare their budgets, and then we send invoices later in June or July usually.
All right, I just didn't know if I was expecting something more formal or throw this at the budget office. Thanks.
Christopher Whitlow,
Yeah.
Dan O'Donnell,
Yes.
Jill Loop,
Yes.
Bob Cow,
Yes.
Robert Ledger,
Yes.
James Delivera,
Yes.
Pete Peters,
Yes.
motion passes.
Thank you very much. Looks like the next one is a joint topic with stream credits. Bob, is it okay if we move ahead with that one? With
Yep, absolutely.
I'm in charge now, but I think it's
Oh,
okay.
right, yeah, you gotta ask Dan.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
If
See, he
we-
didn't resign. He
Oh,
would
That's right, see?
he
We
would
weren't
not
joking.
concede.
He's not going to give up. That's what I tell him, die hard.
All right. Thanks. So I invited Chris Burns from Balzer along to help in this discussion. But so basically, we're doing some work now, some clearing and grading work that is contracted with Bowman Excavating, and that work does not require stream credits. We are not impacting the streams at this time with the work that's going on the site. The full 53-acre grading project, again, as a reminder, what we're doing now is we're clearing 30 acres and we're grading roughly 20 acres of what is designed as a 53-acre pad. The full 53-acre pad will require stream impacts, and those have been, Chris, is this correct? They've been permitted. Chris?
Yeah, that's correct. Sorry, I couldn't find the mute button, the unmute
Okay.
button.
So those stream impacts have been permitted through DEQ. In talking with some different stream banks, Balzer's identified a particular stream bank that can offer the credits needed at $150 per linear foot, which is roughly half to maybe 63% lower, somewhere in there than the typical price. Usually looking at $300 to $450 or $300 to $500 per foot. With 1,517 linear feet of stream impacts, this price is estimated at $227,550. This is lower than Balzer has seen. And if no credits are available in the future, the solution is to buy from the Nature Conservancy at roughly $500 per foot. So these are credits that can be resold. And purchasing the credits increases site readiness and attractiveness, and ultimately a future user, if they pursue that full, the full 53-acre pad grading, would require stream credits. I bring it up as an opportunity to consider, but there's there's another thing to consider here is the clearing and rough grading project that we have underway. So I've updated this chart with the amount of bond proceeds that we have on hand, but we also have a number of projects underway, including clearing and rough grading. What is unknown at this point is the amount of rock that may be encountered on the site. So Chris, I know we did some geotechnical work and that looked promising. It looked pretty good. But I guess the unknown variable, and I'll let you chime in, Chris, is the degree to which there's pinnacle rock on the site, which reasonable that we should probably anticipate seeing some pinnacle rock. Is that correct, Chris?
Yeah, I think that's fair. We did about 10 borings as part of our design process. And those were mainly contained within the areas where we have the most cut. And we did see favorable results from those. So we're hoping that rock encounter will be minimal. But we won't have a better idea of that until Bowman gets out there and really does some detailed exploration on site.
And the contractor, Bowman Excavating, I've spoken with them. Clearing is well underway, but earth moving, grading out there is not really anticipated to begin until I would be remiss if I didn't bring this opportunity to you, but I obviously welcome your thoughts and discussion on the matter. Obviously, there's an unknown variable here. One strategy might be pursue purchasing the credits. They can be resold at a later date. The authority also owns some land north of, essentially on the north side of the interstate on Lock Haven Road that could be sold to obtain additional funds. That's one possibility. Another strategy might be to hold off a bit until the spring, until we know, what Bowman's going to encounter, until they get a little bit further into the project. So, but this is a pretty good deal, so to speak, on the credits. So roughly, again, there's about $1.3 million to play with after, current work is complete.
Is there a recommendation? I don't know the pros and cons of doing it now or waiting to see what happens.
Well, I think from our side, when we were going through the stream permitting process, I think we just saw an opportunity, saw those prices that were, really lower than we've seen before. Typical prices that we see are probably closer to the $400 a foot range. I don't think that there's any, we just saw an opportunity to save a good deal of money and brought it to John's attention. I don't think that there's anything imminent where I would say, you really need to do this now. But the stream bank that has the credits available for $150 a foot, they do have quite a few credits. I think that there is a possibility that a good chunk of those will get purchased by a locality in the relatively near future, but we just don't know for sure. So there's another bank in the area that's selling for about $225 a foot right now. And, we don't know what would happen to that price if the other bank sells out. But again, it was just an opportunity, and being a good consultant, we thought it was appropriate to bring it to your attention and at least have the discussion. So.
Bob, this impacts the participation committee more than it probably does the rest of us.
Good point.
So is this something that the three of you would like to discuss a little bit? Because I do know that those credits are expensive, and we had to purchase some recently for this Colonial Elementary School. And this seems like a bargain basement, but that's up to you all.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I have, for my part, I have a couple of thoughts with it. I mean, one is what you just said, Gary, which is, I mean, I would not anticipate it to get less expensive, and we gotta buy them at some point, and our cash position is not necessarily going to all of a sudden get better either. So there's not much change in that regard. I know, and this is not applicable in this case, I know in the city, we've started taking a position where for municipally funded projects, we're actually placing the practices on site rather than buying credits. That doesn't really work in this case because we're really talking about removal of something that rather than those other practices. So, for my part, it feels like it's inevitable. It's a good price. We've got the cash. I'm not sure why we wouldn't go ahead and take this step. I realize, it could still be quite some time before we see a developer move in, but it might not be. So those are my initial thoughts.
You want to make a motion?
Yeah, I mean, if for the two of you, for Jay and Dan, I mean, are you all comfortable with that kind of thought? I mean, I just,
Yeah.
It feels like as good a price as we're going to get. So,
Right.
So yeah, y'all.
Jay? What do you think, Jay?
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with the price. I guess really the question would be, what kind of time frame are we talking about? What are the chances that you have changes in regulations and that sort of thing? And I know nobody's got a crystal ball on that.
Yeah, and I mean, my guess, and this is just speculation on my part, Jay, but I would assume that short of the regulations changing in a way in which we couldn't do what we're trying to do, they're going to likely become, require more credits or something else. So at least we would have these kind of banked.
It won't get cheaper.
It won't get cheaper.
Right. I don't think so. Did you make a motion, Bob?
I will. Yeah, I will make a motion that we go ahead and proceed with the acquisition of the credits as was outlined in the proposal.
Second.
Okay, we are back in the participation committee. Okay, so let's call a vote for the participation committee on the credit.
Bob Cow,
Yes.
James Delifero,
Yes.
Dan O'Donnell,
Yes.
motion passes.
Okay, so then the full authority would need to have the actions of the committee to come before the full group, I would anticipate. Is that correct?
That's right. You have to have a unanimous vote or recommendation by the participation committee to the full board.
So then, Mr. Chair, would you like to make a motion to associated with these credits to the full board?
Sure, I'll move that if that's appropriate.
And then we will need a second. That could be from anyone.
This is Bob. I'll second that.
Okay, thank you, Bob. Okay, the motion has been made and seconded to move forward with the purchase of the credits as outlined and as the participation committee has already done. Is there any discussion? I would say as part of the discussion, only thing is I would think that as far as timelines of getting the project moving, if you ended up having a active prospect, it would end up helping to have these in place along the way too. So really it's an advantage on cost and on time, I would think, and move, as far as that goes. So motion, any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and proceed to vote. Virginia, would call the roll, please.
Katie Ledoux,
Yes.
Ken McFadden,
Yes.
Michael Burnett,
Yeah. Yes.
Christopher Whitlow,
Yes.
Dan O'Donnell,
Yes.
Jill Loop,
Yes.
Bob Cow,
Yes.
Robert Ledger,
Yes.
James Delifero,
Yes.
Pete Peters,
Yes.
motion passes anonymously.
Fantastic. Now we'll move on to the executive director's report. I think that's on both agendas.
Yes. And thanks Gary and Dan. So just quickly, we've reported previously on the sign and landscaping, which has been completed. The sign is in place. Landscaping's been installed as well. The construction and innovation drive is complete. That project's been paid out with the contractor as well. And so that brings us to the clearing and grading project. Bowman Excavating was the winner of that project. Clearing of trees is roughly about 30% complete. Should be 2 to 3 more weeks of clearing activity depending on weather. And as I just reported, grading, earth moving material activity is anticipated to begin this spring, likely in March. The Bauer residence has been demolished. Seeding is to occur at the most expediently, as quickly as possible, depending again on weather. But that should happen within the next week. And grading plans, Chris, I'll ask you to chime in here. We submitted grading plans. So the grading plans are again in 2 parts. The remainder of the 53-acre pad set of grading plans has been submitted to all authorities that have approval, and a second set of plans has been submitted to Roanoke County based on comments received. Is that correct, Chris?
That's correct. Yeah, we've sent in for second review to Roanoke County, VDOT, and Water Authority. Doesn't really have anything to look at, but we've sent them to them as well.
And when those plans are approved, essentially we will have completed our second Virginia Business Ready Sites Program grant commitments, and we can file to receive those funds, roughly $135,000 of EDP grant funds that will be coming. And I think that's my update. Happy to answer any questions.
John, Dan, I know you had a couple of, at least one citizen concern. How is that going?
I've checked on the site. I mean, we've had a noise complaint. I haven't received any other challenges or difficulties since then.
Thanks.
Yep.
I have nothing else.
Okay. You have no other business, Dan?
Nope.
Or John/Dan? Dan, you have no other business?
Not that I'm aware of, but I'm really new at this. So.
Not even as chair of the participation committee, you have no lengthy report that you'd like to give or accolades?
No. I appreciate all of my predecessors for the hard work they did.
Yeah, it was very demanding.
So with that, I guess I can ask for a motion to adjourn the participation committee.
There you go.
I will make that motion. Participation committee adjourn.
I hope Jay will second that.
I will this time.
I don't think we really need to vote on that. We can just go away.
That's right.
And I would entertain a motion for the full authority to adjourn for Christmas.
So moved.
Motion's been made and properly seconded.
Yeah, Bob will second.
Bob seconded that. And all those in favor, turn your Zoom off.
Thank you all. Thanks, John.
Have a good holiday, everybody.
Nice holiday, everybody.
Happy
Thank you all.